so getting right into it here, folks. Thank you for being patient. Sorry for the delays. I guess congratulations to Firestarter for an easy 2-game pickup. It's never a way you want to take matches, though, with a forfeit. So it's unfortunate that Western Devourers weren't able to get their full squad together, but Firestarter is moving one step closer to the championship match in their bracket. So a W is a W. And luckily we're getting in here just in time for some of the draft. So KAP into the second banning phase. We're running through it real quick. Looks like Dazzle and Queen of Pain picked up for Team Anarchy. And 1 second, I need to switch some of my stream stuff around.
Radiant crew pick.
Alright. So there we go. We're good to go now. I have the appropriate title listed on the channel. It's going to be Kick-Ass Patrol vs. Team Anarchy. Monster Cat is done for the night. The music's over. I will dial up the in-game background music just to
10 seconds remaining.
kind of shield you guys from the harshness of my raspy voice for the day. I've been casting a couple games. And let me get that overlay out of you guys' way. So, alright. Sorry for the last second scramble there. Into the draft, and we're into the second round of picks, with Kick-Ass Patrol taking the first pick in the second round here. And starting to eat into some of their reserve time for the first time so far in the draft. On the Team Anarchy side, we have Dazzle and Queen of Pain being the first 2 picks.
Lion.
And with Kick-Ass Patrol, you have an Axe and a Crystal Maiden.
Crew
Crystal
pick.
Maiden seeming to be rising in popularity here a little bit. I'm not exactly sure why. I wouldn't consider her a Platinum tier support by any means. And she explodes. She is one of the most fragile support characters in the match, especially going against someone like a Queen of Pain or Broodmother. Both of those heroes are able to close the gap to Crystal Maiden and explode her before she's able to do anything. Yeah, she might be able to get a frostbite off, but then what? Broodmother is going to be able to lifesteal through any damage Crystal Maiden can put out, and Queen of Pain is going to be able to just explode CM before she has a chance to do anything.
Imba Spirit.
Radiant crew ban.
The second pickups coming out, it's a Gyrocopter on KAP and an Ember Spirit on Team Anarchy. I'm going to do a quick dig up right now to see the history here. Looks like Team Anarchy is coming into this match undefeated, so they have a strong showing so far, and they're hoping to continue that trend, with Kick-Ass Patrol actually dropping from, I believe it was the Heroic bracket to the entry-level bracket here after losing some members between Season 8 and Season 9, and they'll be going into this one with a bit of a losing streak, having lost both games last week to Escape Artists, but they do have 1 win on their belt from the first week of this season, so the final ban from Kick-Ass Patrol is going to be the Ogre. And it's a bit understandable. They don't want to have any more nuke damage than they already have to deal with, because it's going to present a threat to that Gyrocopter line Crystal Maiden. Maybe not so much the Axe, who can survive quite a bit of nuke, but everyone else on their team is susceptible to it. Invoker banned out by Team Anarchy. I haven't seen a lot of Invoker played by KAP yet, so I don't think that's going to interfere with their drafting strategy really at all, but we'll see. They are going to be looking for a mid here, though. And so far with this strategy, it seems like they're going in a roundabout way, similar to their usual strategy of AoE,
Reserve time.
group everyone up, drop the house on their head. They have Crystal Maiden Axe Gyrocopter for a bit of the wombo combo. It's not as potent as Darkseer, possibly, with the vacuum, but the Berserker Call and the spins coming out from Axe typically add enough damage to act almost like an ion shell. And of course, Axe is a great counter to Broodmother, so and a great counter to Dazzle. So you have Shallow Grave, which can be cut through by the Calling Blade, and then they picked Broodmother into the Axe, knowing that those Spiderlings are going to be eviscerated if they do get called. And that's another good reason to pick up the Gyrocopter, because of all of Gyrocopter's AoE abilities, if those Spiderlings are visible, they'll be cut through pretty quickly. Tinker being the last pick from KAP, with the immediate answer of Spirit Breaker coming out from Team Anarchy. And we are good to go and set for game 1.
Prepare for battle.
Hanging out with some of the Twitch chatters here. There's still a lot of discussion going on between the first forfeited match. This game was, of course, almost forfeit, as they didn't know if Team Anarchy was going to be able to get their squad together in time. Merely Mortal being pinged out here by the Crystal Maiden, who's rocking the Arcana set.
Paces forward, boys.
They're going to drop a ward, and the Berserker Call at the last second is going to keep him in place, and the final click coming through from Gyrocopter is going to be enough to drop him. So Crystal Maiden being very proactive there and actually dropping a Sentry Ward instead of the Observer Ward was able to catch Broodmother for her initial position, but then it was the Axe having the diligence to hold off on his Berserker Call until she tried to retreat and got out of range of that ward that secured them the kill. So First Blood and a Bounty Rune going the way of Gyrocopter, going to give him a bit of a surge here in net worth out the gate. He will also be protected by 2 of his supports, so now that First Blood is already taken care of, let me go through introductions real quick. Playing the Crystal Maiden, we have Dr. Dread, who's warding and counter-warding, playing that battle with the Broodmother here. You can see them going back and forth against each other. I don't know if this is going to be a fight that Broodmother can win, because yeah, she's got the Quelling Blade, so she can cut through wards pretty quick, but by sacrificing, if she has to buy a second set of Sentry Wards, that's going to sacrifice her net worth in exchange for the net worth of one of these supports here from Kick-Ass Patrol, which isn't a good exchange. So as I was saying, Dr. Dread playing the Crystal Maiden. Alongside her is the Yukaku playing the Lion, and Silky Johnson playing the Gyrocopter in the safe lane. You have 17 Shortcuts playing the Tinker in the mid lane, going against the Queen of Pain. And then in the top lane, hanging out next to a stuck Guppy, is Chickonometry, who may fall here with one more right click. There's the Shallow Grave coming out on Guppy, but the tower is going to finish him off. No one drew aggro off the tower, and Axe just retreated back to his side shop. So going against the tri-lane, and Axe is able to survive, and there's a lot of damage going out on the Ember Spear. He does have a healing salve, so he'll be able to regenerate himself. Axe is now out of regen items though, so he needs to be very careful. So Trigonometry playing the axe, helping secure a second kill for his team in the top lane. Spearbreaker charging to the middle lane. And the bottle arriving on Queen of Pain just in time for her to secure herself a regen rune. Going through introductions on Team Anarchy. Want to make sure I'm not missing any battle here. You have Merely Mortal playing the Broodmother ward battle in the bottom lane, and there's another round of them going up and down. You have El Polo Diablo playing the Queen of Pain in the middle lane. You have Guppy playing the top river Spirit Breaker, I guess. And you have Tiny Ant King playing Dazzle, and last but not least, in the safe lane, acting as the hard carry role, you have Dark Moon Blade Mom. Missed the rotation in the middle lane here. Dr. Dread rotated up in between the CM Freeze and the Tinker Nukes. They were able to drop Queen of Pain. Guppy rushed in to try to charge the Crystal Maiden and get a counter kill, but wasn't able to do so in time to save the Queen of Pain. So that's 3 kills going unanswered in favor of Kick-Ass Patrol to open this game up. And El Polo Diablo returning to the lane with a Vengeance, blinking forward, casting some spells, and they're slightly off the mark, and Tinker returns fire with a laser of his own. Got an illusion Spearbreaker coming down. Selkie Johnson retreats for a moment until they realize it's an illusion. Action going on up top. Crystal Maiden with another rotation, having hit all 3 lanes here in the first 4 minutes of this match. And you have a Spearbreaker charging in. Does clip Dr. Dread, but with no ultimate yet, they look to counter-engage and they go on Guppy here, but Ant King's going to be there to heal him up and make sure he gets out alive. Meanwhile, Dark Moon Blade, DMB, has regened himself up to a survivable level. I have Guppy trying to stack the camp here, but he's there a little bit too late, especially with the trolls who are all ranged, so they're going to be difficult to move out of position there. And now, in the bottom lane, you have one of the supports completely surrounded by Spiderlings. Selkie Johnson, in an attempt to save him, puts himself into harm's way. He gets surrounded by Spiderlings, does a dance, and he's able to finish them. He pops what I think was a Clarity, and it's not going to be enough to heal him up because Merely Mortal pokes him once, drops the healing salve off of him, and then finishes him off with a Spawn Spiderling Blast. In the top lane, they're looking to make another move against Guppy here, but it's a 2 versus 3 fight, and with the Dazzle in tow, it's going to be difficult to kill anyone. But now, Shallow Grave is on cooldown, as it was just used a little prematurely on Guppy, and you're going to have a puppy pause here coming as the teams strategize and Broodmother disconnects. So it looks like Dr. Dread, level 3, almost level 4. If he could get one more skill point, he could immediately rush it into Crystal Nova to help provide some additional support for the axe here. I don't know how that's going to come though. Unless one of these heroes die. So, alright, they're good to go, and we'll see how this top fight plays out. Trigonometry is just going to kind of back off, reposition, and both squads disengage as Ant King looks to pop a Clarity Potion for himself, heal up, so that he can continue to help action in this top rune here, as Tinker is able to beat the Queen of Pain to the double damage rune. And even with a Sonic Wave coming out against shortcuts, it's not enough to drop him. He pops the double damage, and he's still sitting on 3 bottle charges with the laser level 4. That provides a lot. That provides the miss rate that he needed to tank the Queen of Pain after she had expended all of her spells, and he has more than enough nuke of his own to prove himself dangerous, yet alone. Oh, top lane. Got a killing spree going out for the X. Nope, that was actually a killing spree in the bottom lane. As Merely Mortal secures himself another kill for against the line, but in the top lane it looks like you're going to have two heroes fall here as El Polo Diablo rotates top to avenge his fallen support Dazzle and cleans up both the Crystal Maiden and the Axe. Meanwhile, Ember Spirit going, yeah, you guys have fun fighting in the jungle here. I'm going to keep farming. Tinker, meanwhile, rotates up and is able to catch Queen of Pain and return as she rotates back into lane, having expended all of her spells, dropping that Crystal Maiden and Axe. So, taking you guys on a bit of a tour here. I'll tour myself. What is it? T-Tours. There we go. So sorry about missing some of the action there. But Trigonometry getting in position. He does not have Battle Hunger right now, so he's going to be unable to throw that as he exits. And Dark Moon Blade trying to get in position for at least some experience, or maybe throw out a Sleight of Fist or Steering Chains to get that last hit. He has not put any points into Sleight of Fist yet.
Radiant's middle tower
Tinker
be under attack.
popping the invisibility rune, and there's no dire wards in position to have seen that rune. Now Trigonometry rotates up, quick Berserker Call against the Dazzle, and Shortcuts drops him from about half HP with just a single laser. So bottom lane, the tier 1 tower is still sitting at a pretty good health margin, so they've been able to keep the Broodmother at bay at least a little bit. They know she's in the jungle right now, farming their neutrals, and they saw Guppy rotating as well, so they know they need to be careful here. And this middle lane is just a gas can ready to explode at any point. Quick scream coming out there from Queen of Pain, followed by a laser from Shortcuts, and both heroes are sitting at about half HP and they have to bottle up. Action in the bottom lane here as they go 1 for 1 so far, trading a Crystal Maiden for a Spirit Breaker, and they look to clean up a little bit more here, but Merely Mortal's going to be throwing out the Spawn Spiderlings against the Lion and dives after him, and he's going to secure himself yet another kill, and there's no vision for the Gyrocopter to follow up on Merely Mortal here, so he will go unpunished for that tower dive. And now you have a charge coming out from Guppy. In the middle lane you have action everywhere, and I'm missing a lot of it here, folks, so I apologize. But you had Queen of Pain blinking forward under the tier 1 tower into the Tinker and was not able to finish the drill before Shortcuts was able to return fire and drop him in place. So in terms of farm, it looks like this bottom lane has been more or less sacrificed by TA, as Merely Mortal prefers to be farming up the neutrals inside the Radiant jungle, and Guppy's actually the one who, after his cancelled charge to the bottom lane, picks up a few CS in this lane himself. But Crystal Maiden trying to get in position to make something happen is going to get caught out by a charge and a nuking Merely Mortal, but now this time the Gyrocopter is going to have vision, as Lion was able to dust before he died, and so he's going to pick up a lot of CS and also dropping the Broodmother, who to this point has been the highest net worth in the game. Up in the top lane, Tinker had rotated up, and it looks like they made short work of the Dazzle and Ember Spirit. So I don't know if this fight's going to catch everything, but I know I'm certainly not. With those 3 kills, it looks like the Broodmother in exchange for the 2 supports, it was relatively even, but with the rotation of the Tinker to the top lane, I think it's going to slightly favor Kick-Ass Patrol as they pull ahead a little bit more here. And you can see with that jump in the net worth chart, that's probably the case. Shout out to the Trial, who's screaming, Darmin cast! A huge Sonic Wave against 2 as Shortcuts and Queen of Pain both take a hit. And the right click from Tinker is going to be able to drop the Queen of Pain. And Guppy's Berserker called before he has a chance to complete his ult on Tinker. But after the Berserker call fades, he's able to reset. Now Guppy is apparently disconnected or AFK because he goes down without moving his character. And there's the disconnect. Yep. And the immediate unpause coming out accidentally from Tinker. Now Dazzle's in a bit of a awkward situation, having no spells off cooldown, an axe all up in his face, and a Crystal Maiden ready to throw out a Frostbite in just a couple seconds. I don't see any way he's going to get out of this one alive. Yeah, you can have Battle Hunger, the right clicks, and the Frostbite coming. Even if he does retreat back to the tower, he's going to get caught out by the Frostbite. Probably around here. I can't quite ping the map, as I'm not technically an observer for this match. I'm just watching through Dota TV. But for all the action so far in this game, most of the towers are sitting at pretty high health. So both teams averaging about a kill a minute, and neither team having the push capabilities to drop a tower yet, which is something you're always striving to do as a Broodmother in the off lane here, is take that tower as fast as possible. He does have the Hand of Midas, and he's sitting on 2,700 gold right now, which is approximately half of his net worth is just sitting in his piggy bank. So I'll be interested to see what he picks up here. If he's going for kind of that nuke build, I could see him getting a Dagon. It would be pretty effective against Gyrocopter for a while. Although he has picked up the Sanj, so he has a bit of meat on his bones, sitting at 1100 HP. But it would instantly melt through a Crystal Maiden, a Lion, and probably Tinker for quite a while. I don't know. He's got Boots of Travel now, but nothing in the way of additional health. He's got a Null and a Magic Stick, but you can't pop a Magic Stick mid-Dagon, so between Spawn, Spiderlings, and Dagon, he may not have the HP to survive currently. In the top lane, you have Ember Spirit sitting on about 1,000 gold here. He's finished his Poor Man's Shield, sitting on a bottle, and I suspect he'll probably finish Boots next. Ant King is just going to look to buy whatever he can for 400 gold. Maybe, yeah, a couple smokes. A couple smokes and a scroll. I think that'd be a good buyout for him right now. He's just shy of being able to buy out his boots. I assume they have, yeah, they have the Flying Courier, so it's... I would hope that they have a Flying Courier at 14 minutes. So, yeah, I think the next items for a Dazzle should be a couple smokes and a scroll. Just keep himself from losing too much. What does he have here? Maybe just a smoke. He's only got 109 unreliable. And we're still missing a Spirit Breaker, and the Kick-Ass Patrol Squad have one in the bathroom. So, exciting times for a game that wasn't supposed to happen. I can show you the effigies. Wind Ranger, the best carry, according to Dr. Dread. and 8 of his commending friends. The Nature's Prophet body is ready by Chicanometry. Rocking 35 commends as he puffs out his chest. Another Nature's Prophet. I don't know if this was intended or organized, but a little guitar hero Nature's Prophet singing, "Hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my ragtime gal," by 17 Shortcuts. Yes, this is what I've resorted to. I have resorted to singing to you guys in old-timey rag tunes, whatever those old nonsense songs are called. The Dire we have... What the hell? Alright. So, that anti-mage looks like an actual anti-mage casting spells. When I do this, he gets all stripped nude, and the items hover behind him. So, nice little cosmetic screw-up compliments of Reborn. And as I check out the broken cosmetics, I missed the Dazzle Houdini escape and El Polo Diablo chasing the Axe and Crystal Maiden, getting the Crystal Maiden kill, and now Axe is desperately trying to zigzag away from Dark Moon Blade, and with Blink coming off cooldown, he's going to be able to do it. Queen of Pain bottling up double damage, she'll return to the middle lane, but she's going to be met with a teleporting Tinker who immediately fires missiles and drops down some robots. Second round of missiles. As he rearms, and he'll probably look to push this tower a little bit, or continue to just tenderize the meat of Queen of Pain.
Gold for me.
Radiant's top tower be under attack.
Have Silky Johnson playing the gyrocopter here, trying to get whatever farm he can. He's sitting in the second net worth spot, but he needs to be very careful, and you can see he's just kind of hugging this sentry ward right now, never wanting to push beyond it in fear that oh, missed it. 17 Shortcuts teleported back to base just as the Queen of Pain and Spirit Breaker charge were coming in, so well timed by him. Silk Johnson throwing out a smoke, and he's going to catch some of the spiderlings, but those spiderlings hurt him more than he hurts the spiderlings, and by surrounding him and just right clicks followed by a quick spawn spiderling, Merely Mortal's going to be able to drop the gyrocopter, and Dr. Dread doing his best to make him pay, but that's not going to happen, as Merely Mortal's able to lifesteal his way through the ultimate. A stun coming out from Lion. He is able to help kill the Dazzle alongside the Tinker, and in his death throes out of dust, capturing Merely Mortal, but Tinker is going to head back to base real quick to recover his lost mana, and he teleports to the top lane where they're blinking out the Ember Spirit, looking to apply pressure here, and they're able to secure some damage, but the Flame Guard going to be enough to keep him alive for now, but the Axe is able to secure a kill using, I'm guessing it was Battle Hunger, I didn't see it on him, but it must have been enough damage from the Tinker to burst through the Flame Guard, and the Battle Hunger was enough to secure the kill. Now Silky Johnson's just facing some trouble here as Merely Mortals is starting to get big. The dust comes out, so they are going to see it, but the burn from the Radiance is going to be enough to kill Silky Johnson from afar, and then he turns to drop the Lion. Crystal Maiden rotating in a little too late to see what she can add to the fight, gets picked off by the now nearly immortal Merely Mortal, who was also supported by Guppy as he charged in, but that was really a 1 versus 3 exchange for Merely Mortal, and by 1 versus 3, not an exchange, I mean he just fought 1 versus 3. Now Guppy's ready to go for round 2, throws out the charge, and Merely Mortal's going to throw out the Spiderlings, burn them down with the Radiance, and now you're going to see some damage done to this bottom tower.
Radiant structures be fortified. For now. Radiant's top tower be under attack.
Darmin knows how to entertain and how to miss kills, as Merely Mortal is now starting to just snowball out of control, sitting at 13-2, with like 5 of those kills coming in the past minute. So they need to be very careful with how Kick-Ass Patrol proceeds from here. You have Dr. Dread rotating up, trying to harass the Guppy here, but sitting at 600 HP with only wards and a magic wand to her name. She needs to be very careful. In the top lane, Axe and Tinker are able to kill the Ember Spirit and Dazzle who were pushing, saving their tower from 98 HP, so hopefully they recognize that and this Axe rotates up to deny it. Otherwise that'll be a free chunk of gold.
Dire's top tower
Heading into the way of the Dire, who have already brought this game back into a 5,000 gold lead in their favor after the multiple kills in the bottom lane. Now Merely Mortal putting that Radiance and Midas to use as he continues to create distance between him and everybody from Kick-Ass Patrol. Crystal Maiden being a little too far out of position. Yeah, Shortcut's rotating in, but you can't do that. As soon as... Well, regardless, if it's a Crystal Maiden, you just let her die. It's Crystal Maiden. She's going to die. Unfortunately, that comes with the territory of that pick. Now Guppy rotating in. Charging to Silky Johnson, Queen of Pain blinks in as well, and I don't think she's even going to expend. Nope, she does. She decides she wants to secure that kill for herself, and gets it. Lion, returning the favor, throwing out an ult of his own, is able to kill the Queen of Pain. Dark Moonblade trying to catch Lion on the high ground, but he's not going to be able to hit. However, Guppy will be able to, as he catches vision of him, charges up, throws out an earned charge, and just right-click 17% him to death.
Radiant's bottom tower be under attack.
Merely Mortal now rotating to the bottom lane, trying to go face-to-face with 17 Shortcuts here, whose laser is on cooldown, so he's not going to be able to hide behind the mischance of the laser, and as a result, Merely Mortal just chases him down, right-clicks him to death, and that's the end of the top net worth on the side of Kick-Ass Patrol, as he falls to Merely Mortal, who also secures for himself a tower. Silky Johnson rotates in, thinking he can stand toe-to-toe with Merely Mortal underneath his ult, and so far he's able to live, but you have Spirit Breaker charging in, Axe blinks forward, misses the Broodmother, and now Spirit Breaker's in town making a mess of things, but Merely Mortal is stuck in the tree line. Nope, he rotates out. 3 shots, the Crystal Maiden, then they turn their focus to the second support, Lion, drop him, leaving Axe on an island by himself, and that's a team wipe. They're dead! They're all dead! About a 3,000 gold being pocketed by the Dire squad here as they rotated just a couple in, and I mean that entire time they did that without Ember Spirit, who's just kind of hanging out in the top lane.
Radiant's bottom tower be under attack.
What? Under attack?
All of the tier 1 towers are now down for Kick-Ass Patrol as they try to keep this game from getting too out of hand, but just looking at the net worth, I don't know how they're going to go about stopping this Broodmother, who's already picked up an Eagle Horn. Guppy's in position to dive against Silky Johnson, gets himself a 17% hit. Radiance burn coming out from Merely Mortal onto the 2 supports, and you have a essentially a 4 versus 2 situation here, where it's Spirit Breaker and Spiderling against the bulk of the Kick-Ass Patrol squad with Queen of Pain hanging out in the flanks. And they decide to go ahead and disengage and rotate to the bottom lane here and apply pressure to this tower, which I think is going to be the good call. Force the Radiant to come to you. But looking at the net worth here, when you compare the off lanes, you have Axe sitting at 6,700, maybe a little less now, 6,400, 6,500, as he tries to engage against the Spirit Breaker and insanely fed Spider, who has over twice his net worth at this point. And he's probably just going to farm this straight into a Butterfly. And he's going to be a right-click machine. Meanwhile, Dark Moon Blade just kind of rotates between all of these neutral camps. He doesn't have it. He's sitting at less than 6k net worth himself, even though he's been relatively uncontested here, hanging out in his own jungle, just farming neutral creeps. You can tell there's no threats to him whatsoever. There's no vision of him. Guppy charging in, not going to continue. 17 shortcuts trying to get some space for him and his team as he pushes out the top lane. He's blinking around, he's getting charged here by the Spirit Breaker, but it's not quite going to latch. He's able to teleport back to safety before any impact. Right now you can see how nervous Kick-Ass Patrol are, as they have 3 heroes hanging out, not even going so far as to farm their jungle camps. They're practically just getting in position to defend their tier 3s as everyone's hunkering behind the tier 2s, and they have no idea. You can see the line here. This is the free farm territory of Team Anarchy. They have their jungle, they have the Radiant jungle, and they have all 3 lanes up to nearly the tier 2s of Kick-Ass Patrol. So everything that's going on in this top lane here, completely undetected. And it's not so much that Kick-Ass Patrol would want to make a move into the enemy jungle right now, but they have no idea where any of the enemy heroes are. And when that's the case, you have to play passively. In this bottom lane, for example, Lion is in jeopardy of being jumped on by any number of heroes because he has no idea what's lurking right here in the woods above him.
The Dire has slain, what's his face?
Well, at this point they know it's not the Spider because he was lurking in the Roshan pit. He's now secured himself an Aegis, he's finished the Butterfly, and he's rapidly approaching a 6-slotted Spider. Even stealing what little farm Crystal Maiden tries to secure for herself, frostbiting the big creep there in the neutral camp. It's going to keep her starved. She has brown boots and a magic wand. That is it. And now everyone from Team Anarchy looking to push down this tower, and I think they need to just let this one go. They're trying to catch out the Spider here by dropping the Sentry Ward. They're able to freeze her up and get the Berserker Call, so I think they are going to get the first kill here, but a 5-hero Sonic Wave coming out from El Polo Diablo is going to injure everyone a great deal, and now Merely Mortal's back, having respawned from the Aegis, and the burn's going to be enough to drop the entire KAP squad. So Spirit Breaker sacrificed his life charging in there, but a fantastic ultimate coming out from El Polo Diablo tenderizes the meat, and with Spider coming back to life for a round 2, she's able to provide not only right-click damage, but AoE damage through that Radiance to kill everyone who was near death for Kick-Ass Patrol. There were a few TA heroes that had taken a beating themselves but didn't fall, and I think Kick-Ass Patrol were just too desperate to secure and save some form of map control for themselves. They didn't want to lose that bottom tower, and as a result, they lost 5 heroes, the bottom tower, the mid tower, and even the tier 3 towers are taking a bit of a beating here. You have a ping out from Tinker on Dark Moon Blade as they look to rotate in and kill him, but there's a remnant sitting in the backfield, so in DMB just more or less blinks away. He's secure to go. He's teleporting back to base, hits the sauce real quick, and now he'll jump back to his remnant that he left behind. So he's ready to go, ready to re-engage right away. Maybe? Ready? There he is. So he's back with the squad. Yeah, Britt saying the Broodmother ban, in this case, I almost guarantee you'll see a Broodmother ban coming out from Game 2 here. Queen of Pain, following up her incredible Sonic Wave, throws out one that completely whiffs. So, Guppy catching Silky Johnson out a little bit here. He's going to rotate back. A little bit of burn on him, but I think he'll be able to survive through the urn. Not with a ton of HP, with the nuke coming out from Spawn Spiderlings, the urn, the charge from Guppy, but enough to get him back to base. Have some comments coming out from when I highlighted the farmable region for Team Anarchy. They told me I might as well circle the whole map, and unfortunately for Kick-Ass Patrol, that's more or less an accurate statement right now.
Invisibility.
As there's not a lot of fear, and you can even see Merely Mortal and Tiny Ant King positioning by themselves in the middle lane, ready to jump on anybody who shows their face. Have pings coming out saying, guys, we need to defend this tier 2 tower in the top lane. And I just don't know if they're going to be able to at this point. You need to completely control circle whole map, new meta. Yes, it is the new meta. Brood needs to reconnect. Everybody's loving Reborn these days. It's a whole lot of fun. Bunch of Reborn hate going out. I love Reborn. No Kappa. Alright, total Kappa. And back to checking out the effigies. And apparently the throne. Ah. I can't control the camera. Noobcaster. Right. Looks like that's the only other effigy they have. It's the tiny one.
Radiant's top tower be under attack.
This tiny pile drives a tree into the ground. But as predicted by Kick-Ass Patrol, who wanted to defend this top tower, Anarchist Squad are there beating on it, and they're going to take it uncontested, which I think is the correct choice. I don't think anyone from KAP right now has the durability to stand up to the squad. And I think that one of the biggest problems is Silky Johnson's just so under-farmed relative to everybody on the TA squad. He's neck and neck with the Dazzle. Everybody else has secured themselves the top net worth slots, with 4 of the top 5 going to Team Anarchy.
Dire's bottom tower.
Only
be under
poor
attack.
Dazzle.
Radiant's top tower be under attack.
Not having enough to
Godless swabbies.
make the top 5 list.
Shadow wave.
Oh, the life of a support. But he does have a medallion, and he's now finished up his mechanism, so... In addition to the heals he throws out, the armor he throws out, he'll have even more sustain to provide for his team.
Zap.
Tinker being an annoying little tinker, doing what annoying tinkers do, standing on the high ground, throwing out marches and missiles, making the uphill push just very difficult. And that is one of the areas where her Kick-Ass Patrol are going to have a strength here. In order to push into this high ground, they'll have to push into an Axe, a Crystal Maiden. Lion, you know, doesn't have the strongest uphill defense abilities, but he does have the ability to hopefully slow down the Spider, who, never mind, has now finished his BKB. So he'll be able to pop that and murder both the supports at will if he catches them out of position, or if he catches them before he's completely CC'd. Recommendations for the Spider to go Dagon for his final item here? Meh. I think he should go with a Divine Rapier. True YOLO play. Actually, with Roche coming up in just a minute here, he probably could go Divine on the back of an Aegis, Cheese, Shallow Grave, Divine Rapier, Holo, blinking forward, catching I think it was 3 or 4 heroes with the Sonic Wave, and now Broodmother's just going to clean up buybacks that are available coming out from Kick-Ass Patrol, but I think this is going to be the end of it. Have Spirit Breaker retreating backwards, calling out for some heals, even though he has an urn of his own. Why don't you earn yourself?
Radiant's top
There you go.
be under attack. Radiant's top racks.
Meanwhile, the racks are just melting as 17 Shortcuts gets caught out here, and next it's going to be Trigonometry with the dieback. Oh, the Sleight of Fist catching right before he's able to get to the high ground, and that's going to be it. Spirit Breaker charging back into the mix to steal some blood for himself. Had those stats on the scoreboard as he goes 12 and 5, but I mean, look at this: 23, 2, and 11. This game has been Spiders the entire time. Even just kind of standing here attacking the barracks, he's able to murder the Crystal Maiden with just a Radiance Burn. They fall back outside of the area of call down, but I don't think that's going to be enough. And GG is cast, even though they did defend the tower here.
Under attack. Dire victory.
And that's game 1 in the books, going the way of Team Anarchy. So, at the start, Kick-Ass Patrol definitely took the lead. I think they went up 4 or 5 to 0. And then Broodmother just started to snowball wildly out of control. The last